Hey guys, welcome back to a Frame a Day workout with Helen Chen. Today we're going to be doing a screenshot from the original Blade Runner. We did the new one a few days ago, and I know I couldn't leave this course without, at least doing one from the original. This is directed by Ridley Scott. It's one of, his most famous movies. I mean, all of his movies are kind of famous, but this one in particular has made a huge kind of like cultural impact. And so I thought I would, take this chance to do one of my favorite scenes from that movie. My favorite shot from this film, actually, or from this scene in particular, is the one where it's a close-up of her face and it's lit on the side and she's got smoke coming from a cigarette. It's really beautiful. But I know that that's also, that's a favorite among many people. And there was a big chance that a lot of you have done it before and you wouldn't need to see me do it. So I decided to pick this one because it's, from the same sequence and it's just so beautifully done. I love everything about it and all of the, the bones and the construction of this shot. You have this dark figure in front that's got a little bit of light showing off her face and a little bit of light on the hand just so it doesn't flatten out. And then you have those strong rays of light coming through behind that really help silhouette her. And this is what I love about movies from this era, and also like movies in the 80s, like Spielberg films like that. They pump the air so full of like mist and things like that, and makes the air really thick and catch light in these really beautiful ways. And so I just really wanted to capture that. And I mean, of course, we've done similar things in the past studies, but this is one of the stronger examples of that. And I just really love it and wanted to paint it and have just a good time today. So here, I'm trying to indicate some of the color changes I see in the background. Again, I'm, trying to do it in a way where I know that the values will be correct once I lay the light on top of it. So it's quite a bit darker right now. And I'm actually going to use a little bit more layers in this image just to get all of those things to read correctly. So I'm going to have the background layer. I'm going to have a layer of light. And then I'm going to have the chair on a separate layer, and then another layer of light, and then the foreground character. This way, it gets, it's easy to kind of separate out all of those elements so that all of the light is overlapping in the correct way, especially around that chair area. Oh, I futz with the color of this chair quite a bit. It's one of those where the local color of the actual chair itself is a little bit hard to pick out because it's so affected by all of the light and the air around it. I have a feeling it's kind of like a wooden, like warm wood kind of a thing that's being affected by all this blue light. And so that's why it's colored like that. So I'm going to try my best to get close to that, but know that down the line, I'll probably be adjusting it a bit. So that's also a good reason for why it's good to have it on its own layer. So I'm going to choose something a little bit more neutral, neither cool nor warm to start, and then when I start layering in some of these light rays of different hues, maybe it'll start coming together. And I also want to make sure that I really kind of pay close attention to the color of the light coming in. There's a little bit of a cooler tone one, and then there's one that's actually a little bit more yellow toned. So I just want to make sure that that subtlety is there. So that's what I'm painting in right here. And by, blurring it and then locking that layer, I can actually play with the color within that as much as I want. So I can paint in and out of it. I can kind of, if I need it to be more transparent, that's where I'll use the mask, but I will lock the layer and just play with the hue of it with soft strokes. And then just to test and see how it looks, juxtaposed on top of that background. So now that I have that laid in, I'm thinking that the chair is a little bit cooler than I initially thought it would be. And I'm guessing maybe it's like a green or blue. And so I glazed kind of that color on top, and I'm using the opacity layers to try and like see how it feels. And then in the center of the chair, there's a section that's a little bit warmer or lighter. So I'm just gonna kind of paint that in real quick and see how it feels for the chair. And then if it reads correctly once I put that ray of light that's in front of the chair in. Now we have everything mostly laid in. I'm gonna focus on the figure. the figure is, again, most of the storytelling here is just done purely with the silhouette, which is so wonderful. And I just love the little hits of light on, the actionable parts, like her hand, versus her body, which is a little bit more still, but that little bit of light hitting the back of her hand and adding those small shapes really draw our attention. So we know, even though the first major shape we see is her full silhouette, the second thing we see is the action, which is the point of the shot. So I think it's really, really well done. And I think that that little bit of light was definitely done on purpose to draw our eye there. So I got a little bit of details in the face, but not a whole lot. I'm not super concerned about it. I just want to make sure that there's a little bit of stuff there when you look at it, but overall it should just read as one kind of solid figure. With some of the small shapes that are happening, I don't really mind that her figure is blending in a little bit with the chair. I think that's kind of the point, and losing even the hand that's kind of like full, like a bent in front of her. The more important hand is definitely the one that's doing the action, that's reaching. And so I'm going to be a little bit more specific with the shape of it. I'm trying to get the major kind of overall shape, and then using the light to kind of do the work in terms of like expressing the form. And you can get away with very little here, just because hands are such unique shapes. We automatically kind of just in our minds plug up, the holes of, detail. So you don't need a whole lot to get it to read like a hand. I can start adjusting some of the, after I got most of the little tiny details, especially on the figure out of the way, I'm able to kind of take a look at the whole and try and, lighten up some of the background, add a little bit of atmosphere underneath so that the arm really pops out, and, things like that. And really work in even some atmosphere kind of like in front. You can see it in how occluded the figure is against the foreground chair, even though they're supposed to be the closest to us, or to the camera, I should say. There's still a layer of atmosphere even on top of that. So I want to make sure that I get a little bit of that, just like for that 2001 image we did of the close-up of the face. Right, that does it for this study, basically. And thank you guys so much for hanging out today. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.